The best way for me to describe the film Obsession is that it's reality bites plus 500 Days of Summer, which I still love, plus Fatal Attraction with a sprinkling of Get Out, plus Carrie with a healthy dose of John Carpenter's storytelling. So no spoilers, no spoilers. This is a non-spoiler review. From the very beginning of this film, you have Barry and Nikki. They worked at this music store with Ian and Sarah. And the reason I said Reality Bites, because Reality Bites was back in the 90s. It was a Gen X movie. And even though this film is strictly Gen Z, it feels like a Gen X film because you have this group of 20-somethings working at Sarah's dad's music store, played by Andy Richter, who just came in and out. He was in there. It's like, oh, it's Andy Richter from Conan O'Brien. But they work at this music store. They're trying to figure out what to do with their lives, and they're hanging out and having fun. But they're trying to figure things out. And that feels very Gen X to me. But from the very beginning, I understood Bear, played by Michael Johnston. Bear is a shy, awkward guy who lacked confidence. And he was in love with Nikki. And in the beginning, he's practicing what to say to Nikki to tell her that he likes her. Now, most people say, well, why don't you just tell her that you like her? But when you're shy and you're awkward and you lack self-confidence and there's girls that you really like, you try to say the right thing or not to sound dumb or try to feel confident and act confident. Where you just could say, hey, I like you, want to hang out? Or you want to hang out? Let's get together. Like, it's hard. Yeah, now, in retrospect, when you're older, it's like, man, I was so dumb. Why just tell her that I liked her? But when you're younger, it's hard, man, because you envy guys who are super confident, who can tell someone, hey, Nikki, I like you. Let's hang out. But so I totally understood Bear. And of course you say stuff like, man, I wish that she would love me like nobody else. Now in reality, that doesn't happen. But when he had that one wish, Willow, and he made that wish, he got Nikki. And he got freaky Nikki. And I got a theory that if Nikki was just regular Nikki, I think he still would have been self-confident. I think he still would have been awkward. But because freaky Nikki was so messed up, Bear had no time to focus on himself because he wasn't in his head because he was trying to handle her and try to figure her out. So he never really became confident, but at the same time, he didn't focus on himself as much because he was trying to handle freaky Nikki. And speaking of freaky Nikki, let's give a lot of love to Indy Navarrette. She is an amazing actress. She was in the TV show Superman and Lois. And I saw a video where I think in season 3 or 4, they cut her character, but she wanted to do film anyway. And recently, I think Michael B. Jordan actually liked one of her posts. So I wouldn't be surprised if she popped up in a Michael B. Jordan film down the road. But she was fantastic as Nikki. As Nikki, it was satisfying. It was scary. You felt sorry for her, and that's because of the writing, because of Curry Barker. Curry Barker is the director and writer of the film. And you can tell that Curry Barker watched a lot of horror films. His next film is actually a remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But when you're watching Obsession, he paced it like John Carpenter did with Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween, co-written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, his girlfriend at the time, and she became a great producer down the road. The pacing of Halloween was, we saw action in the beginning with Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers, but there's a long track of that film where it's character development. We got to meet Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode and meet her friends, so we understood who the friends are, got to know the friends until Michael Myers just went crazy on them. But that was almost at the last quarter of the movie. And Obsession is the same thing. A lot of the fear that was in that film, there were some gruesome scenes. But the fear, a lot of it was your own fear because you're anticipating something to happen. It's very Alfred Hitchcock. That's how old school horror films were. It wasn't all about gore and shock value. Like right before the film, we saw a preview for the new Insidious film. Now I won't see that because that stuff scares me because there's so many jump scares and it's horrific and it's gory and all that stuff. But when you're watching a film like Obsession and you don't know what's happening, you actually create the fear in your brain first before anything actually happens or nothing happens at all. One of my favorite scenes is the Jenga scene, and you're anticipating something happens, and something did happen, but it's not what you thought. And the most horrific scene, I won't talk about it. There's a very horrific scene. You knew something was bad was going to happen, and you knew it was going to be brutal, whatever it was. And I was thinking, like, because the film's budget was only $750,000, I was like, how are they going to do this scene? You know something bad's going to happen. How are they going to do this? And the reason why that scene works, one, it is brutal. It is probably the most brutal scene in the whole movie, but it's realistic because it could actually happen, that someone crazy would do what they did in that scene. And if you saw the scene, you know what I'm talking about. So overall, man, I hope this film is considered for award season. I said the same thing about Sinners last year, but at that point, I knew Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler had a track record in Hollywood. So Curry Barker and his crew don't have that track record, but I hope it's considered for some awards during award season. But I do think at the end of the year, Obsession will be one of the top 10, if not top 3 films in 2026.